between 2 and 4, but if you can do that, because also what I want to do, Chris, I think I want to do that one on Kurt this week on Monday, so it's going to have to be that quickly to
Cameras are speeding.
so that because it's kind of hot now,
Yeah.
and then we can do this one here separate in
Cameras are speeding.
All right.
Background action. Foreground action.
All right, so how's my mic?
That's great. That's
All
great.
right, that's what all right, so yeah, let's go on that one, dudes, because it was it's the moment you came in, and let's roll. You ready, Cam? All right, come on, ADHD. Oh, which, by the way, I wanted to touch this one.
He's all over the board, man. I love this guy.
Hey, which one I want to touch about, I said this the other day, it's not really ADHD that I have, but my natural hyperactivity personality makes me ADD. Yeah. So I self-diagnosed myself on that one. All right, let's do this thing. All right, everybody. Hey, man, let's welcome back to another episode of Flip the Script, SCRIP without the T. And I'm with my man Cameron as usual, and Dave Johnson's back with us again.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
And that guy in the background over there, Chris.
I got one fan.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's a start, dude. We just
That's a start,
5
man.
minutes down
That's
the road,
right.
you're going to have 100. So
right.
look at it that way. So what we want to do, Dave came into the clinic 3 or 4 days ago.
Tuesday, yep. Came on
Tuesday with
yep.
a complaint of
Man.
His back was out again, which I
Yep.
tend to see. I tend to see you what, twice a year, maybe. 3
Usually
times.
around in there, yeah. This is about once a year now,
Yeah.
something like that.
So at least we've got you down in frequency. But when it usually is, it's the right SI joint, Ken, that we talked about. And this time he was complaining about the neck pain, the knee. It bothered him as well. So I said, hey, man, here's the correlation between that. And he had read, I think, in my book about that correlation between the two. And he came in and I said, hey, you know what? If you want to share that with others, come on and sit down with us on the podcast. So here we are. So tell them a little bit about what you had. You came in, we experienced the
So we
squatting, weren't you? I think?
squatting, yeah. So we were doing back squats, and my workout partner and I. And so when I was doing the back squats, I would back the weight out of the rack, and I would set up. And when I would get ready to squat, I would notice that my right foot was further back than my left foot, but that's just the natural position I went in. So I forcefully moved my right foot forward to line it up, but it just didn't feel right. And I was like, what the heck? Right. So I was purposely, because I can naturally stand in a squat position, naturally, have my feet lined up without having to make it, and it's completely effortless.
So
normally.
you're consciously aware here.
So I'm consciously aware. So now it started bothering me, and it turned into a mental tick, or at least what I thought was a mental tick, that I couldn't line my foot up. So I'm like, okay, fine. So we get through the back squats, finish up the workout.
But now you're also compensating at the same time, right? Trying to
That's
turn
what's
the toe
happening,
in.
yeah.
We talk about that. You tried to turn the toe in, and that was creating an irritation, right?
So Sunday, I'm at home. Sunday, great day, by the way. Beautiful Sunday with the family. Everybody's off work. Everybody's having a good day. Everything's great. And I went to go get a lemon out of the refrigerator. It's not heavy. So I went to go pick it up, and my back locked up.
Some of those South Florida lemons are pretty large. But
Well,
go ahead.
that's
I'm gonna finish
true.
with that one. Locked up, and
so-
A better story. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's all there is to it. There's nothing else to it. Yeah, that's right. And so it locked up, and I was like, dang it. Joey's not open on Sunday.
yeah.
like,
It's
dang
always
it.
on a weekend, right?
That's right. So waited Monday. I had a busy day at work Monday, and I'm like, I'm still in denial. It'll go away. Tuesday, I'm like, nope. Sent my boss a message, said, hey, I'm out. First thing he asked. So I called your office, got him in to see me, got adjusted, immediate relief. Oh, my goodness. Like, immediate relief.
Glad to hear I
yeah.
still got that. Okay.
And so we had a great conversation, as always we do.
Thank you.
You know, I can go a long
Agreed.
time without seeing you, and we always go to the same topics: weightlifting, health and fitness, life in general. And it's like we hadn't skipped a beat. And so that's the conversation, as
Good point.
always. Told me about Cam over here. And
That's
so
why I decided I'm going to get you on so you can hang out for at least for a couple of days
Yeah.
together before I see you again next year. Go ahead, brother.
Well, you may see me more often now, because now I know why it led to that condition.
Yeah.
Had I been coming to you once a month or something of that nature.
All that preventive stuff that I try to teach, I understand.
That's the thing, yeah, preventive, that whole word. So yeah, then I came back on Tuesday, got adjusted again. And then came back on Friday, man. I felt like $1 million, man. I went home yesterday. I sent my boss a message. I'm like, man, I feel light as a feather, man. I feel great.
And it was for him. It's when I do see him, it's for that same problem. His is a right SI joint.
Yeah.
Mine's a left SI joint. So like I talk about too in my second book, Pain Free Living, you know, we acquire this early in age. And so most of the time I find with these patients, if you've got the acquired short right leg due to that pelvic alignment issue, that's usually what you're going to bring in. And you bring it to me, it's the same thing. Cameron's the same way. Cameron's, excuse me, Cameron, I believe you're left, I'm left, right? Because by the time I got to my chiropractor, I was 20-something years old. I probably did this before the age of 4 or 5, if you just think about life in general. So here he comes with his. And again, with that involvement, he had the IT band also pulling and creating that dysfunction on the knee. So, of course, at the same time, he's dropping that right leg back. And this is what he said, because he'd heard us mentioning this. And dropping the right leg back because that glute on that right side is contracting, causing external rotation of the foot. And this is how he's trying to compensate. So when he was trying to turn the foot in, what was happening? It was becoming very uncomfortable. The IT band was pulling, and he was feeling the pain on the knee, which is, like I say, we call this runner's knee in the book because runners are real common with this. But you see how it can affect just about
it's
anybody.
huge. And so I watched episode 4, I think, on the pelvic tilts. Is that
yeah,
you had
yeah,
talked about your friend?
Yeah, my friend Logan.
Who actually got adjusted.
Shout
on
out
the-
Logan.
Yeah. And you showed when he laid down, you actually showed the feet and the
he
difference
was
in
bad.
length.
So
Yeah.
we were at jujitsu, and he goes, I think the wrestling coach was like, looks at him and goes, dude, why is one of your shoulders like way higher? And I
That's
looked
what
at him and I
happened to
was
me, yeah.
like, yo, and he was so bad out of alignment that wasn't just you check his feet. It was that like you could see it just like staring at him right here.
I saw
And
it.
so it was great.
Yeah.
And he popped. So most chiropractors online, when they pop, they put mics there and to make it sound like it's popping more than it is, or just so you can hear it. And we didn't do that, and you still heard it crazy loud.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. It's good. Yeah, and so my shoulders were the same way. I looked in the mirror.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
and I
that's what
tried
you
to
came
stand
to
up
me, and you said,
straight.
"Look at
Yeah,
my
and it was like
shoulders."
it was weird when I tried to stand up straight. I was going this way, but I could look, and my right shoulder was down,
Yeah.
and my left shoulder was up, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this
you
alignment
know-
thing is real."
Well, here, and, you know, that all comes down to the riding reflexes. What's amazing is that, you know, our eyes are going to stay on a horizontal plane. It's the part of the fight or flight, right?
Okay.
All animals do the same thing. So that's why, you know, you can come in, and that same problem that was in your right SI joint and that pelvic
Yeah.
unleveling, that patient may present with shoulder pain or a headache on the opposite side because, you know, we're adjusting
Yeah.
or we're compensating for that short right leg
Yeah.
all the way up the spine because we have to keep, because people don't walk through life leaning to the right side like you were short right.
right.
That's
right.
You see that, you know, something's wrong there, right? Unless they have a seriously, you know, permanent injury, right? So we're going to correct that in our riding reflex in our brain. And so, but what stood out to you in the mirror was that shoulder was dropping on one side. All right. So for a lot of people, they would think, oh, there's my problem. No, it was all the way down at the bottom on the
That's
other
right.
side. So cool stuff. And so, yeah, that's how all that kind of correlates. And, you know, you have to, you know, fix the cause, if you will. Because from there, we have the problems with the low back. A lot of people develop the disc injuries. And most doctors are going to chase that disc injury, which is really a symptom for the pelvic unleveling that you had. But
Yes.
you get to me before we get to
So
that.
I took the week off with that. I rested. I went this morning, ran 4.28 miles with a buddy of mine this morning. Feel great.
Good.
Feel 100%. And I'm going to go. As a matter of fact, I'm going to work out this afternoon. So I'm going to get back to the barbell today. I think I feel
Which
like
is why
that's
we talked about that. I
Yeah,
said yes
you said
to.
yesterday,
I just
no
said
close
yesterday. I said
chain,
let's leave it
right,
alone.
yeah.
I usually like you to leave it alone for 24 hours
Yeah.
afterwards because when I make those alignment issues, we're sort of unstable at that particular time. The body's trying to hold this new alignment, so that's a good thing to bring
So
into.
it's good to be back. Man.
And also
It's-
because, you know, your lifestyle's like that. You're moving all the time. And I understand, brother, too, you are no medication, no.
nothing. I'm so glad. Let me tell you.
At 51 now,
At
right?
51, yeah, I'm 51.
Unmedicated and unregulated.
Unmedicated, unregulated. I'm 51 years old. It's so.
Baby.
I shouldn't.
Well, in my
Like,
world.
so if there's one areas of life that I'm passionate about is I love to push and advocate for adults getting healthy and staying healthy and being fit. There are so many times I've heard people say, I'm too old to work out. I'm too old to run. Or no, you're not. That's not true at all.
No, you don't have time not to. It's
Right. So I'll give you a couple of examples in our life. So we're like everybody else. Like my wife and I are very busy people. We have 2 kids. One does travel softball, which if anyone knows anything about travel softball,
Oh, my God.
that's a job in itself.
Yeah.
Then our
Somebody-
son does karate twice a week. And so we put him in gymnastics when he was young so he can do backflips and handsprings. And so he's on the demo trickster team. So he's competitive karate.
How old is he?
He's about to be 9.
Oh, wow.
So then when he moved up from the juniors class that they have to the adult class, my wife, who would probably kill me for saying this on here, will be 51 Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, you're not supposed to do
So
that.
she said,
That was a mumble.
Isaac,
I mean, 41.
Yeah.
41, 31, Corey, 31, Corey.
This side of 40, we can go there, yeah.
So, but she decided to sign up and do karate with him. So here I am.
Excellent.
And so I'm in the crowd watching my wife and son do karate together. But some would say, oh, I'm too old to do that. Not my wife. If you know Corey, no, not her.
She's fit.
So she is very fit. She's very strong, and so anyway, so that's
No,
just,
to her,
so,
it was.
But so we're busy people. So let me tell you how a lot of the structure and discipline and the way that I live came about, and why. So quick backstory: when I was in my 20s, I was overweight. I smoked. I was very unhealthy. I had my first job in an office setting when I was 24 years old. I had never sat all day before. Oh my goodness! I blew
At
up.
24?
At 24 years old, I
Cam,
had
can
never
you imagine
sat.
that? Oh,
I had never sat all day. So I sat and I wasn't working out, wasn't running, wasn't doing anything. And I just gained a lot of weight, man. And I got depressed. I got
Happens quick,
tired, didn't
dude.
feel good. So I go to the doctor and he's just like, I don't know what to do with you. You're a mess. But it's like, so anyways, came home. I was fortunate that my dad and mom were both into physical fitness. My brother was into physical fitness and had some conversations. So I picked up racquetball. That's where it began.
That's a good
So I
place.
picked up racquetball, started losing
intensity.
weight, started feeling good, but then realized, like, my goodness, I got to quit smoking. Like, I can't play racquetball and be a smoker. Something's got to go. So thank God.
Good.
In all seriousness aside,
And you gave
so
up the
this is
cigarettes
why I
instead of
think,
the racquetball.
well,
Good.
so I
Good move.
loved racquetball more than I loved smoking.
There you go.
So you got to
They
find
don't-
something
they
that
don't
you
go
love
together.
better than cigarettes to quit, because that's one of the hardest things to ever quit. So fast forward, I started running. I loved running, man. And
Well,
then I
what
ran
you
my
did there was you gave up one dopamine for the
for
other
the other
dopamine. There you go.
And
Go
then
ahead, finish up.
I ran my first marathon when I was 27, and then in 2009, I discovered CrossFit. So that's when I started incorporating the weights and weightlifting and started really getting strong.
And that's when I started getting busy.
That's when you started getting busy. But that's so. But anyway, so I got hooked on this
CrossFit and
lifestyle, and
chiropractic.
so I've got two different. I've got 2 different seasons of life that I can compare to. I have felt really bad, which I never want to feel like that again.
That's right.
And that's why I push so hard, because I remember how bad that
Unfortunately,
feels.
you were young when you got
And
there
imagine
to get
feeling
out
that
of
way
that.
at my age instead of 24.
That's right.
So fast forward. So this is one thing that we totally advocate for. So fast forward, our daughter's born. She has a softball game with a rec league, and I think the game started at 7 or 7:30 in Trustful. So the game's not over at 9 o'clock that night. I get off work, blast to the softball field. My wife's there. Isaac's not here yet. This is before he was born. So the game's over. We're tired. It's been a long day. We're hangry, man. Like we're just hungry and upset. I said, forget it. Just go to McDonald's. So we drove through the drive-thru at McDonald's, and it hit me in my mind exactly. I said, this is where it begins. This is how it starts. You're busy. You have children. You have families. One time.
Easy way out.
So next time, like anything in life, planning and effort equals good results. So next time we go to the ballpark late, I got a cooler. I've got my own set of almonds over there. I've got a burger. I've got
You
a piece
prepped.
of chicken. I'm prepped, and I'm
That's
ready to
right.
go, because I'm not going to fall victim to that.
Took
'cause,
you.
man,
It took you less time to prep than it did to sit in that
that
line
is
at
correct.
McDonald's.
But the whole thing is, I could see how it happens. If I didn't have a base of exercise already, if I didn't have a knowledge of good food,
Habitual
and food
again.
prepping already,
It's the habits, brother. What good or
It's-
bad?
But I can see how quick it happens. So now, a couple weeks ago, before I got hurt, our daughter does pitching lessons once a week down in McCalla, and it's an hour lesson. So Tuesday, I take her to her lesson. I can sit in the chair on my phone like the other parents. I throw a kettlebell in the car. I talked to the owner of the facility and said, hey, can I use your parking lot out here? While she's putting in the work, I'm putting in the work. So I go out there, write a workout with kettlebells, running, burpees, push-ups, whatever. 15, 20 minutes.
Done.
Done. And I can still watch her pitch because it's an hour lesson. You got to plan. You got to be ready.
Well, good point. Now there too, what would have been really beautiful if some of the other people would have gotten out of their cars and joined in instead of going, look
Let's
at that
go.
man, look at that madman over there,
Let's go.
right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
okay. You can be
Yeah.
the odd man out. That's fine. Maybe they'll think about that too. That's a
But you
beautiful
got
thing.
to
Yeah.
plan, and you got to be ready, and you got to be intentional, and you got to make it a focus. Look, I could get sick and die tomorrow.
So again,
But guess what? I felt good when I was here. Here's another thing, too, as an example. Our daughter's 14 and a half. She'll be 15 in January. If she pitches, somebody has to catch her for an hour. I have to squat up and down for an hour. That's functional fitness, right? So it's hard to squat up and down, catching her ball at
especially
50
with an
miles an
SI
hour.
joint problem.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's throwing it back and forth like that.
Can I hit? I probably couldn't even hit it, could I?
You could, maybe. I don't know. Listen, we could. Maybe we'll
We
bring
may
the
have
whole
to
family
find
out
out,
one
Chris.
day. We'll set up a batting cage in
And
your
if you
yard.
can on the
We'll do that
first
on
day,
the
you're going to have to go a second day until you get to where
So
you
that's
can
where
hit
it
that
is.
little girl.
And so I used to work before we got sent home to work from home in the pandemic. There was roughly 500 people in my office building. I tried to start a walking/running group on Thursdays at lunch. It's once a week. Let's just plan it. You do it. If it's Thursday, we're out there. I got a whole bunch of yeses on email.
Going to have to keep it walking though, because we don't want a lot of sweating going on, having to go back to work in the afternoon. And actually, we actually release more AMP kinase, the anti-aging enzyme, if we don't break that sweat. But just get moving, David,
Just
like
get
you're
moving.
saying.
How many signed up? How many showed up?
I had a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot that wanted to be there. I got a lot of yeses, and so I was like, man, it was harder than trying to get a date for prom. I was like, no, was all I was hearing. But it's not a thing. But you know where everybody did go? They walked down to the Mexican restaurant at lunch.
Oh, yeah, they did.
But I'm like, that's what are we
and
doing?
called an Uber back. Yes,
Again,
yes.
Come on, people. What what I feel is, and maybe I'm wrong, we're trading in these bodies too young. Because we're missing out
Giving
on
up
quality
on
of
them too
life.
young.
This is not about
This is what I get now in my practice. I get those people like you were talking about. That's why I said I get them coming in saying, fix me. All right, am I too far gone? And they're only your age, in their 50s, right? No, it's reversible. You ate your way into this, you can eat your way out. All your lifestyle change to
Right.
get your way out of that. It's never too early to start. I told you before, 51, unregulated, unmedicated, David, that's probably in the 1 to 2% range, okay,
That's hard
of
to
the
believe.
population at your age today.
So hard to
Wrote about that in Light Your Fire,
Yeah.
right? The average 40-year-old's on 4, the average 60-year-old's on 6. You won't find a 90-year-old on 9. They don't exist.
Yeah.
So people need to learn as quickly as possible to undo this, and you have undone, if you will. And I'm seeing.
Thank you. It's constantly evolving,
It's a
but
beautiful
yeah.
thing, right?
It is,
But
it's great.
It just takes a little bit of, like you just said earlier, and we talked about self-discipline, all right? And just a desire to want to do so. For a lot of people, sadly, they get in their 70s before they get to me, all right? It still can be done. It takes a little bit more time. I have to undo some stomach issues. I have to undo some adrenal issues. And of course, they're on a half a dozen medications, maybe more.
Yeah.
Which, in the perfect world, we're going to come off of every one of those. With the help of their physician, if the physician's willing to work.
I
Sometimes
think-
they're not, but we'll get to it.
So I'm fortunate the fact that my dad was a workout freak, man. He died 2 days before his 95th birthday.
Yeah,
But
95.
He passed away though, or he fell in the gym when he was 93. That's where he fell, and that's what put him
beautiful.
down.
Yeah, wow.
But that's where he fell. So he would go to the gym twice a day in retirement. So
But
I went with him.
he was 93 before he fell, which is great because a lot of people who don't get in the gym are falling in their 70s and not getting back.
So he was old school, sweatband, tall socks, nasty old gym shorts.
Yeah,
in there with the big
Hey, I
barbell
still
squatting all the way
remember
down and all
those
that.
days, yeah.
So we went over there to the gym with him,
The old
and in the
tall socks.
mornings he would work out. He would hit the weights and he would work out, he'd sweat, he'd push, and he had it going on. So then he would go back in the afternoons at about 2 o'clock.
Oh, he's doing a split routine.
So, when I got back in the afternoons at 2 o'clock, he's sitting around in a circle with all these old guys telling tall tales, running their mouth.
Oh, okay,
And then
that's
I
a
asked my
social
mom, I said, is he going to work out? She said, no, Dave, this is social hour.
That's his social hour.
This is social hour. And
He's
I was
out
like,
of the house.
that's better for him than the first part working out. I mean, that's the point.
Well, he's
Is
getting both points in there.
he was surrounded by a lot of people. And he had a lot of friends.
Well, this
and
is the
people
thing to
loved him.
longevity.
So that's what keeps you alive.
Well,
man.
when you look at what we call the blue zones and the longevity.
Yeah,
of the blue zone
absolutely.
people,
They have
what
community.
they have in common, they have community.
They have
stay within their
community.
community, and they stay active. The 90-year-olds are working in the yard. Everybody has a purpose, and within the community and in the family, they still have a purpose.
So my
Sadly,
neighbor-
our adults lose that.
That's right.
The elderly
Yeah.
lose their purpose in life, and they're not given a purpose, or it's taken away from them as well. So yes, when you tell me again, like your dad at 93,
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this man might have been on 1 or 2 meds at the most,
Right.
but he didn't get there taking 6, 7, or 8.
He was
And
old
his
school.
lifestyle would tell you that he wasn't doing so, right?
Old school
I see this in my
handball
practice
and all
all the
that.
time. When I get the 90-year-olds in there, one of the first things I ask them, how many meds are you on? How many what number of medications? And I'm telling you, it's either 0 or 1 or 2 mild. All right, that's part
Yeah.
of that's the lifestyle.
Well, so there's a lot that goes into this beyond weightlifting, diet, exercise, and all that stuff. That's great. That's what we need. But there's more to it. You taught me how to sleep. I know that sounds crazy,
Well.
but you taught me how to sleep. Now I
Sleep's
sleep
a
on my
weapon.
back with a knee pillow, and I sleep. Oh, my quality of sleep is so like I wake up extremely energized, and it's just crazy. I feel good when I wake up.
Well, it's a
And
weapon. That's what I'm
It
saying.
is a
You
weapon,
do.
but that's where too, and that contributes to heart health, keeping your weight down, overall stress. You just feel good.
But David, let me ask you this too, because I talk about this in this book,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're talking about the sleep. That's why I see you about once a year, because you do the things outside the clinic that are so important to keep that pelvis in line, which I love to teach my patients. And when I get somebody like you who comes in and says, "Hey, doc, I ran into you at Publix or something," and you tell me, "Hey, since you taught me this,
Yeah.
I don't have that problem anymore." Now, that to me,
How rewarding
that's
for
a success for me. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I want to
absolutely.
be able to do, and that's part of my 30 plus years of practice. And now it pays off when I have somebody like you come in and tell me that made the difference. And this is why I see you about once a year, because
Yeah.
it's not necessarily forever, but at least it's not once a month or every other week, right? Because learn what you do outside of that time you're in with me that's exacerbating that problem.
Yeah.
Which in your case is just something as simple as where you're placing that pillow when you sleep at night. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
And-
it's guys like you that's putting him out of business.
It's got
Literally, though, now that's the other side. Yes, that's why That's why I went into nutrition, because I know that I'll be busy for a lifetime with that.
That's
Right?
right.
Yes. So, but my chiropractic is I teach that, and that's why this book's so small. Listen,
Yeah.
it's like I tell people, look, if there was more to it, I'd written you a bigger book. Okay. So just again, it's not, and again, I like to say it's common sense, and that's
It
what
is,
you're doing,
yeah.
right?
Absolutely,
There's proof
yep.
of it right there. Thank you very much for that shout out. But yes, go ahead though.
And well, just so one thing too that my neighbor says that I work out with. My workout partner's 48. He's a dentist. Shout out to Aaron Cook. Anyway, so he has a small dental practice down in Southside, Cook Family Dental.
All right.
Awesome guy. But anyway, he gets off work every day around 4 to 4:30. I start work early in the morning, so I get off 4:30. And I showed the pictures. I showed you guys the pictures of our outdoor gym. So I have a small functional area. It's an outdoor CrossFit gym. And it's like I think it's an 8x8 and then a 4x4. But anyway, I got a pull-up bar, rings. We've got bumpers, bars, wall balls, kettlebells, everything there. We ride our workouts. And he says, this makes me a better husband, a better dad, a better employee.
Imagine that.
And it does. And he's pretty light. He's about 160 pounds, but he's strong. Like the guy can lift a lot of weight, man. It's
Cameron-
amazing to see.
Cameron and I were talking about this a couple podcasts ago. When you look at that, and I mentioned that to you. These are the basics, all right? They're the core, and they are really what most of us need to achieve that physical fitness that we're after. The chin up, the pull up is one of the best things overall for the shoulders, lats, back, biceps. When you add all this in, and we're talking about what great shape these gymnasts are.
Yeah.
Upper body wise, especially when you say rings, how many people can actually pull themselves?
I
up on
got
a ring,
rings. I
right?
got a pull-up bar. Pull-up bar is
So
a
you
1-inch
don't
galvanized
necessarily have
plumbing
to have
pipe.
this,
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
high-end gym stuff.
No,
right?
absolutely not.
That's not necessary. What's necessary is a proper attitude and the desire to do something good.
I
for
need
yourself.
a small square in front of me to drop down and do 100 burpees per time. I don't need a lot of space for that. That's a workout right there.
Yeah, burpees a workout. Yeah.
I think maybe one day on the podcast we should all come in here, all three of us, and do 100 burpees per time.
Now,
Who wants to watch that?
personally being your doctor, I'm going to have to sit here and watch you two. Make sure that you don't, in case of an injury there, I wouldn't want to throw a shoulder out on a burpee.
Sounds like lazy delegation to me, Cam. What do you think?
No, that's that mental acuity I acquired over the last 65
Yeah, there you
years.
go.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Very good. It's great. But it's just, man, so I've been so blessed, man. I got the unhealthy stuff out of the way when I was younger. I felt bad. I made a decision that I didn't want to feel that way anymore.
And I say this when we talk
so
about
great,
this.
man. I'm
find
so
yourself-
blessed, though.
You found you something you love to do,
Yeah.
and you do it often.
That's right.
All right, and that can be walking. Chris is back. Chris, by the way, how much weight have we lost now, Chris? Well, after that dinner the other night, there might be a couple more.
You're down 23 pounds. That's
23.
awesome, man. That's great. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Again, that was what? That was 5 from last week, isn't it?
How you do? Are you
Yeah,
just
beautiful.
cutting back,
Which
or
is
are you
perfect.
just
I haven't
changing?
eaten in 40 days.
You know,
Well, one of the things he's doing, he's walking, but he's moving, right?
great,
Yes.
yeah.
And he
Yeah.
cut out his sugar, so that's a great place to start.
Oh, that's
for him.
huge. Yeah,
Red
that's
wine.
that's a
And
big
the
one
red
too.
wine,
That's
right?
huge. Yeah, absolutely.
So just doing it, that's awesome,
awesome.
brother. That's awesome. And his knees not giving him any issue anymore. Just just it all.
That's
runs
an invite.
together.
Spell standard process.
So does this mean that you've accepted the invite to the pickleball group? Is that what I've heard, Chris? Is that what I'm hearing?
If Doc goes, I go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man! Put it on.
Correct.
Put it
Yeah.
on to do. All right.
Yeah, that's
Let's
right.
get it started if we're gonna get it done, Chris.
That's
okay.
right.
Sounds good. All right, man. But anyway, good stuff. Anything else you wanted to add on to? Because we talked about the fact. Okay, I love the fact that here we are. Unregulated, unmedicated. Boom.
Yep.
It's doable, people.
Let me add, all that stuff is great, and it is, and it's awesome, and I love that. But just to give a plug out there, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that's where peace comes from.
Yes.
And if you don't know him, reach out to us on the comments and let's have that conversation. He truly is peace, and he will provide us as individuals with peace that the world can't offer.
And you're created in
And
that
so-
image. So by
Yeah.
God.
His yoke is easy.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
His burden is light.
That's it. And there's also, too, just to throw this out there, on Thursday mornings at 6 a.m. at the Ranch House Restaurant in Vestavia, there's a men's Bible study that is very diverse, and it's led by 2 guys. One works at Sanford, and one is a dentist here in town. It is an awesome Bible study. It is anything can get said there, and it stays there. So
What
if you
time
want
are they
to know,
starting?
6 a.m.
That's on the one on the hill. On the
Yeah,
Colorado
yeah.
Hill.
Right there in
Columbiana.
Vestavia on Columbiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a place to get authentic and get real and not be judged, that's the place to go, because it's like you can say anything there, and it's
Well,
great, and
stay
you will be
real,
loved
stay
on. And
authentic.
so anyway, so yeah, I just throw that out there, and that's it. So
And I wouldn't worry too much about those people who judge anyway.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, none of the business. But anyway, so beautiful, brother.
Thank you
Let's
for having me on. I
let's
appreciate
roll
it.
this one again. Well, hey,
Cam, it's
find
great
another
meeting you,
time.
man. It's good to see you, man. So
And again, Chris, stay consciously aware of your awareness of consciousness. And as always, have yourself a great day, brothers, and week.
So you ain't missing one.
So you ain't missing one. Till next time.
there
Let's
you go.
wrap.
Thank you.